And sure.
Madhouse. I'm Rob.
I was mad.
I'm James.
I'm Jason.
And our buddy
Tyler.
Yes, Tyler. How you doing?
I'm great, Rob. Thanks for having me.
Oh man,
Great to meet you all.
Your topic was incredible.
Great to have you here.
I wonder if it shows up. No, it didn't. I wonder where he posted it. Ryan Haskell watches the show all the time, and he posted on there. Tell me you got this idea from Psycho Goreman.
Yeah, it's interesting. I didn't, but maybe there's some subconscious thing to that because I watched it like 2 weeks ago, and I have been kind of thinking about it.
He's right.
Yeah, so maybe there's some aspect to that.
What is that?
Psycho Goreman?
Yeah.
So
I've never heard of that.
You should check it out. I think it's one of the most fun movies I've seen in a while, actually, I'd say. But it's on Shudder Canada for the first time. But it's like, I'd say all the good elements of like raunchy B-movie splatter stuff meets like The Goonies or the Stranger Things kind of kids movie aspect of it.
Wow.
Yeah, but I was like, how has nobody done this before? I was watching it just being like, it's so perfect. It's so obvious.
So that's on Shudder?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
I finally got a chance to see it.
I'd only seen the poster, but now I am intrigued. I
kind of like. I remember hearing about it. Somebody was talking about it on like a movie review page or something, and it was still unavailable to buy or to view anywhere. And I was kind of like, okay. But then it kept popping up on my radar, and then it finally showed up in Canada, and I was like, okay, I got to check this out. Plus, Raven Banner was involved in it, so then I was kind of like, okay.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, Raven Banner did the Canadian Blu-ray pressing, I believe.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to check this movie out, and it delivered.
Now I gotta. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Tyler, you have been busy. I think the last one we saw was Behind the Curtain. I think was that what it was called?
Yeah. Well, that one. So there's been a couple since then. So there was Engineers. So, well, in terms of the ones that have played in the Bits universe or whatever, but Engineers was the first one, and then we followed it up with Behind the Curtain a year after. A year after that, we did the touring version of Blood in the Snow. We did In the Thick for that one, and it played in the Ottawa date.
I didn't get to see that one yet.
Okay, yeah, it was specific to Ottawa that time. We played with Helmington, my brother's film, and then the latest one, which was in the virtual Bits this last year, was one I did just by myself under lockdown, and that was called An Imposter.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's right. I forgot all about that one.
It's a little less horrific than my previous offerings, I guess, but that one was fun. It was basically just like my son and I locked down. I had my camera and one light, and I was like, all right, let's see what I can do.
Yes, I remember that. That was fun, especially because you get to the end, and when you look back at the house, and you get the whole imposter story. You know? Yeah,
that was really fun to shoot too, because the only way to get it to a point where I could shoot outside but not be too bright was basically to do it like 5:30, 5:45 in the morning. So it was kind of like people were getting ready for work and stuff, and I was just sort of like out in front of the unit in like my boxers, just trying to pretend like I was a psychopath. So that was fun.
This is what I normally do.
It was par for the course, right? My neighbors were just like, "Oh, he's at it again."
If possible, I'd like to get some link to that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Because that way these guys can see it. And
I really like. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Awesome.
Right.
So now you
Do
said
I post it in the chat.
If you send it to Facebook, I can send it to them.
Done.
Yes.
Done.
Now you said you're busy now too.
Yeah. It's been pretty busy. So, like I run just a video production company on the side, anyways, and I'm a teacher at Algonquin College in Ottawa. So during the pandemic, I was actually teaching, and then ever since video has been considered an essential service, it's just been very busy. So a couple music videos for some artists in Ottawa, my friend PJ and Hophorn Hornbeam. I'm actually doing another music video this week with Lynn Hansen, who's a folk sort of rock singer-songwriter as well. So a lot of music videos.
Nice.
Yeah, just trying to keep busy, right? Got to do something.
Very cool.
And as you can see, we keep busy with top 10 lists.
I was very excited I was very overwhelmed when you proposed this idea of like come up with a top 10 list. I was just like, I'm not great with this stuff. I'm just like, well, top 10 for like what kind of mood, what subgenre, like what sub top 10 of a top 10 are we really playing with here? So this was difficult.
It was weird. Very weird.
This is stuff that I grew up on. Like it seemed so obvious when I said it. I was just like, oh my God, like this is the stuff that made me.
Well, this in my research for this, like a few titles immediately popped to mind, but then I'm like, okay, what am I forgetting? So I just went down a list of all the family movies through the 80s and 90s and I go, oh yeah, add that one to the list. Oh yeah, add that one to the list. And I actually started with like a list of almost 20 or 24 in that area. So for me to be able to whittle down to a 10 I had a lot to work with.
Yeah.
Well, Greg is already here. Greg says, hey, everyone, Ottawa rules, especially Canada. Canada represent.
Canada. Everyone knows Canada. I'm technically out in Carleton Place right now. So the greater Ottawa Valley.
There you go. It's close.
Yeah.
Close enough to count, right?
Everything's close enough to count in Ottawa. That's for sure.
In that case, let's go ahead.
Just for Greg, Hugh Jackman Boulevard represent.
Hugh Jackman Boulevard?
No, there's a street called Jackman Boulevard, and I always say Hugh Jackman Boulevard every time I see it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Alrighty. Well, let's get to it. Tyler, we always start with our guest. So what's your number 10?
Okay. This is exciting. So my number 10, and getting any type of order in this was really difficult. So we're just going to start with my number 10, Ladybugs with Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh.
So I believe it's 1993.
Greg's already chimed in.
And it's pretty weird. There's a great How Did This Get Made episode, actually, where they go like really, really, really deep.
Isn't it like kind of disturbing or something?
It's a little, so just to give you, so the overall elevator pitch is basically, there's this struggling girls soccer team, and Rodney Dangerfield, the kooky coach, gets this idea to dress a boy up as a girl, and then that's sure to bounce the team back. So it has this sort of hyper-sexist, weird, not appropriate sort of overall theme. And of course, like most movies at the time, at the end, the whole point is to realize, well, we were wrong to assume that, and they do just fine on their own because they had it in them all along. But the journey is rough.
A lot of potholes on that one.
Yeah, there's a few.
Wow, I didn't even think of movies in that way. Like just to think of their concepts now and how they would. No, I didn't even think of it that way.
Yep. Well, yeah, if you look at a lot of stuff from the 80s and stuff, not exactly politically correct today. You know?
Yeah. But I suppose it's important for us to be able to reflect on that and recognize that. So it's like maybe Ladybugs was part of my journey towards becoming a better person and understanding the appropriate. Yeah. Thanks, Rodney.
Greg says, James, what bargain bin gem will you remind us actually exists?
Well, you'll have to wait and see.
All right, Jason, what's your number 10?
All right, my number 10. So this is not a list of my favorite weird family flicks from the 80s and 90s. It's not my favorite ones. I think I made this list just that something about it or the whole thing in itself. These are the weirdest movies.
That's kind of what I did too. Yeah,
100%. I'd like to clarify I did the same thing. I'm not a Ladybugs connoisseur or fan.
I see the poster in the back.
So I'm starting with 1995, The Indian in the Cupboard.
Ah, nice.
I never saw that one.
It's a nice film. I really enjoy that film. I've been meaning to rewatch that for a while now, but I haven't got back to it. But just the concept of it, and what that kid ends up learning, that's deep stuff. And so to go that deep in a family flick, come on.
Yeah, I definitely remember a lot of that movie. When you said that, and I just started getting all these like images flooding through my head.
I know I haven't seen it in years, but yeah, you're right. There are certain iconic pictures that just jump into your head from that film.
Mhm.
And, yeah, I think that's a very good pick.
That is a good pick. I want to watch it again now.
Right.
I can't find it on any streaming service though.
I think I own a VHS copy of it. I started collecting VHS at the beginning of the pandemic, and I've accumulated a lot. Maybe that's where part of this list origin. Yeah, maybe it's more of that than the Psycho Gorman thing. No, I started an Instagram page, Perkus Power Tapes, and I'm basically just reviewing crazy ass VHS movies.
Oh wow,
That's wicked.
very cool.
But now I'm gonna watch Indian in the Cupboard.
I gotta admit, I haven't seen VHS in a while. I think the last one I saw was just before the pandemic hit, and it was at Value Village. I got it for a buddy Steve, right? Because he's a Predator junkie, and it was a VHS copy of Predator that hadn't been opened.
Very nice.
Wow, that's impressive. So yeah, I couldn't pass that for $5, right?
There's a copy of Predator on VHS where the VHS tape is red, like a deep bloody red. So
Oh, wicked.
like that would be awesome if you accidentally bought him that edition.
Yes, I haven't opened it to check. I used to love when they did stuff like that. Like the ET one came out. It was a black cassette, but it had the green flappy.
The green.
Yep.
So, you know what's funny? Okay, so in these VHS travels I've had recently, I found somebody on Kijiji selling that tape, no cover, for $200 with and the only thing in the listing was just a very rare. And I was like,
ET
okay.
Very rare. Okay, that thing flooded the market.
Yeah.
If you didn't have 7 copies of it, you weren't a socialite. Like,
Yeah, I can't even imagine what it'd be worth with a cover, right?
oh man, that's wicked. All right, James, what do you got?
All right. I did do the list of my top 10 favorite weird family movies. I just made sure that I could explain the element of weirdness.
So, James
So
is the rest of us. This is right on course.
Yes. So my number 10's from 1985. It's Young Sherlock Holmes.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
And this one does involve people experiencing like vivid delusions that lead to their deaths. And one of the guys actually, you see a stained glass window of like a medieval knight like bursts out of the window and starts chasing him down, which was pretty great visual effects for 1985.
mine was the young Watson having the hallucinations with the food attacking him. Oh, that was terrifying.
Family LSD trips. Nice.
That was terrifying.
I don't think I've seen this movie. I got to be honest.
I have not watched it in probably 25 years.
Same.
It was on TV years ago. I have it taped on one of my VHS somewhere.
Oh, I remember doing that all the time.
Yeah.
Let me see. Mine from 1997. It was a Tim Allen movie. I liked it when it originally came out. And then I recently revisited it a couple years ago. And I'm looking at it going, this is the hokiest piece of celluloid I think I've ever seen. From 1997 is Jungle to Jungle.
Oh my God.
I've heard of that.
Oh, yeah.
Mimi Siku.
Yeah, he brings a little jungle boy to the city.
Who's
It's interesting.
he's and the Jungle Boy is played by, I'm going to script the name, Sam something, but the guy who played the drummer in Detroit Rock City a few years later. If anyone remembers that movie about Kiss.
I remember of it. I don't hardly remember anything from it.
I remember the actors in it. Wasn't James DeBello?
Yes, James DeBello was one of them, and the drummer was the kid from Jungle to Jungle.
James DeBello, Joey Kern,
Ooh,
Edward Furlong, of course.
Eddie Furlong, yeah.
Giuseppe Andrews.
Oh yeah, from Cabin Fever and Independence Day.
Yeah.
Lolita Davidovich, David Ogden Stiers, Lily Sobieski. Oh wow, I didn't realize all these people were in here. It's been a while since I have seen this.
Is this Jungle to Jungle?
This is Jungle to Jungle.
I definitely didn't know Lily Sobieski was in it. Or
She's
remember
the
at
little
least.
girl that he hangs out with.
I feel like I must have blocked that movie out of my mind.
Sam Huntington?
Yes, that sounds right. Yeah, I was about to say Sam Worthington, and I was like, that's not right.
Oh,
that's a different person.
It's another good Sam.
Okay, yeah. Sam Huntington, Fanboys, and Not Another Teen Movie.
Fanboys.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Not another teen movie. Oh, wow.
Man, boys, man, I love that movie. Okay,
I just revisited that movie like a week or two ago, or 3 weeks ago.
God, yeah, that is so good. It's just my lucky R2. All right.
I quote that every time someone says or talks about like it's good. Okay, I have to give you some context before I tell the story. Because in the pandemic, people are working from home, and I found like everyone's built like a weird little home office, or like I know people who have built like little shed offices. I'm even renovating our garage right now. But somebody will be like, "Oh, I have like a home office," and I like grab something and go, "It's a carriage house."
Yeah,
That's like one of my favorite lines from that movie.
forgot about that line.
Oh, it's so funny.
Oh man, that is such a good cast. We could do a whole show just on that movie, man.
Oh yeah,
Underrated. And not long enough. I remember watching it being like, I wanted more scenes. Like I was just like, I wish it was longer.
There's just so many cameos in there too, like Danny McBride, Ray Park,
Seth Rogen times 3.
Seth Rogen, yeah,
Kevin and Jay,
Jay,
yeah.
William Shatner. Okay, like like Billy D. Williams, Carrie Fisher.
Oh my God, that's right. I'm going to have a list of movies I need to rewatch by the end of this.
Right. Okay, we're on number 9. I put it up and then we just got distracted. So Tyler, 9.
Okay, number 9. Okay. Okay, number 9. I can't remember what year, probably around 1995. Kazam with Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh.
Where he plays the attitude-ridden, rhyme-laden, wonderful genie from a boombox who gets conflicted with his journey as the genie and tries to become a rap star at one point, I remember. Or like there's somebody who's trying to give him a career, but someone steals the boombox. What a crazy-ass movie. It's crazy.
1996. Yep, you were almost dead on.
96, okay. And there's that whole thing about everyone, a lot of people remember the title of the movie as Shazam.
Yep.
But
the whole Mandela effect with Sinbad.
Yeah.
But what it is people are mixing Kazam with Sinbad did some genie gimmick as a promotion for some restaurant or something, or some TV show gig. So Sinbad was in a genie costume for something, and it must have been right around the same time as the Shaq movie came out.
Okay. I thought it might have just been something as simple as like, because his credit on movies, or like his marquee credit on the cover of his movies was just Shaq in giant letters. So I was wondering if it was just people's brain melded Shaq with Kazam. Like
Shazam. It's possible.
And I got to be honest, if people are talking magic and genies, they'll say Shazam more than they'll say Kazam.
Yeah, it's true. It doesn't roll off the tongue quite.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Good.
There's some amazing rhyming scenes in that movie, though.
I got to watch. I've never watched the whole thing. I got to be honest. I've seen clips and I've seen pieces, but I've never sat down from beginning to end.
Here's a weird little tidbit that's going to sound ridiculous. I remember growing up, we always used to do those, those Maxell 6-hour VHS tapes they used to do, and you could get 3 movies back to back on them. So we had like a library of just like triple movies. So everything was a double feature for my brother and I. So I have these weird nonsensical associations with certain movies. They're just like melded together in my brain. And for some reason, I guess because they played back to back, Kazam is melded with the movie Joe's Apartment with Jerry O'Connell, I think, because those played back to back. So like in no universe should those movies ever be in the same. But that's just how my brain works.
Of the 90s.
I had a lot of trouble omitting things because I was like, well, that's not really a family movie.
Yes. Yeah. There was so much came up. It's like, not really family.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
No, but now I want to watch Joe's Apartment again.
That's a great movie.
All right, Jason, what do you got for number 9?
All right. My number 9, 1984, The Never-Ending Story. Now, I love this movie. It's, super nostalgic for me and all. But when you really think about what happens in that movie, it's some weird stuff. Like, how does nobody realize the kid's hiding in the attic? And how nobody knows. Or they never think to look up there. And then just the whole that he's connected to the world, and the whole thing that's causing the problem is the girl doesn't have a name.
Well,
That's
how do you
acid
call her?
trip stuff, man.
How do you call her? Right? Hey, you.
That's a name.
Wow,
That's true.
that's
No,
crazy.
You are right. Look at the stuff that goes on in there.
Mhm.
And,
Again,
like-
I love the movie, and I want a Falcor someday, but it's weird.
And it's dark. It is dark.
Oh,
It has like everyone's most traumatic scene from their childhood, right?
Yep. Anytime anybody brings that up in like a meme or something, it's another stab in the heart.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. You know what's weird though? You talking about it is making me realize I remember the sequel more than I remember the original because I forgot the whole thing about the name. But the sequel, I'm like, I remember a lot of that.
I don't remember
weird.
any of the sequels because I know there's 2 sequels at least, and I don't.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever watched any of them.
I never saw any of the sequels, but one thing I liked most was that the metal band Atreyu got their name from the movie.
Yeah.
It made an impact. Greg's chirped in. He's got one. Short Circuit.
Fantastic movie.
Mm,
Is it
I
weird?
loved it.
Is it
You're
weird?
right. Well,
I would say weird.
It's pretty weird.
robot
Yeah,
running
it's
around
got
the city.
It's a war machine with like a soul.
And then he says, James, you better have little monsters or the respect level is lowered.
Well, Greg's getting ahead of us here.
Ooh,
Right?
that remains to be seen.
Well, let's see what number 9 is, James.
Number 9 is from 1985. It is Explorers.
Oh man. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was definitely on a short list for me.
Yeah, and the film debuts of Ethan Hawke and River Phoenix.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, now I know what you're talking
Where
about.
they little kids build their own spaceship and actually go into space.
Yeah.
Tilt-a-whirl.
Yes,
Well,
out of a
that
tilt-a-whirl. Yes,
Yeah.
I can't believe I forgot that one.
That was based
Yeah.
on a true story, I hear. That was,
Yeah. It was a documentary, wasn't it?
yeah, that's right.
Nice
That's
Joe.
why there's
Nice
more
Joe.
titles.
Good Joe Dante movie.
Absolutely.
I-
I forgot about that.
I definitely forgot it was a Joe Dante movie. That's awesome.
Well, mine is more of a along the venue of Jason's from 1986. Any movie that allows you to rip the head off somebody and trade them around is not exactly normal. 1986 Labyrinth.
Number
Fair
number
enough.
4.
Number 4. Yeah, that one. You just watch that and your brain's going, what?
Oh,
Yeah.
God. I just want to quote that movie. Can we just quote that movie for the rest of the podcast?
Easy to do.
Turn back, Sarah. Turn back before it's too late.
What said is said.
Maybe you can help it. There's only 2 songs in that movie, right?
I
Both-
didn't
Oh,
know
no
that.
way.
No,
gotta
there's
be more
3,
songs.
at least 3 songs.
Is it 3 songs?
Well, there's
Yeah,
like-
because there's the ones exchanging their heads. There's David Bowie singing while they're going through the MC Escher painting, and then he's singing while they're in the ballroom in the crystal ball thing.
well, there's Magic
Okay.
Dance, of course.
Yeah, so there's 4, but they're all by David
Oh
Bowie.
yeah. Well, yeah. Except the monsters changing heads.
Yes.
But
That's
you
got all
know-
the hallmarks of a Jim Henson classic song.
But you're all forgetting the weirdest thing in that entire flick. Bowie's codpiece.
Oh, yeah, that's very
Oh,
true.
we already titled it.
Although I can't argue. That is a good one, yes.
What are those
Okay.
things? What are those things he uses? Like somebody was telling me that like this is a thing now on the internet. That like glass orbs that you can do like weird
Oh.
tricks with and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, it's juggling. It's a form of juggling.
But there's like
Now
there's a
what-
name for those balls, and you can get them on Amazon now or something.
Yeah, because that
I mean, like get anything on Amazon, but
I remember my older brother telling me when I was a kid that wasn't even him. It's some guy in front of
Yeah,
him
no,
doing,
yeah, it was-
doing the whole
Really?
thing.
Yes, it was
Yeah.
a professional juggler who was sticking his arms through the cloak.
that's
As
that's disappointing.
I mean, Bowie's cool enough. He doesn't need to know that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
I
true.
know.
But that was on a list of awesome things about Bowie for me. So it's unfortunate that I have to pull it up.
I know when I was learning to do that, I called them damn it. Because that's
Called them broken.
yes, that's more accurate. There we go. Yeah, but Pam says, oh my god, Labyrinth, David Bowie is magic. Love it. There we go. Oh, and look at
Yeah.
this. Greg's getting in with his number 8. We're not even there yet.
God,
Ooh.
Greg, stop it, Greg.
Greg's, you're getting ahead of the curve.
I've heard that's a legendarily bad movie, but I have not seen it.
Paul Rudd loves it.
Oh my God.
Have you ever seen that compilation? Every time he goes on Conan,
Oh my god, yeah.
and he's promoting a movie. It doesn't matter what he's promoting. They show a clip from Mac and Me.
The same.
Who
clip.
is it? Who is it?
Paul
Paul
Rudd.
Rudd.
Oh,
You
And
look
they've
at
been doing it for over a decade now.
It's brilliant. He was on there for a Marvel movie, and they showed Mac and Me.
Mm-hmm.
he just cues up a clip and they play that instead.
Yep.
Is it because he's in it?
No, I don't.
No.
Think
He's not
Oh.
connected to that film in any way.
it just started as a joke, and he just kept it going.
Nice.
It's a great joke.
It's brilliant. I love
I
it.
suspect that the first time they did it, he did it without Cohen knowing, and then it's just become a thing.
Yeah.
Because in that first clip, it looks pretty unexpected from Cohen or Conan's reaction.
Gotta look it up, James. All right, number 8 officially. Tyler.
Okay. Well, because Greg's messing up my flow here, I'm just gonna jump into the next one for me, which is going to be Little Monsters, 1988. Just crazy. I remember that movie scaring the absolute hell out of me as a kid, even though it's not supposed to. But
My number one.
oh,
Wow.
beautiful! It's a great movie, and like
It's an awesome movie. Howie
Yeah.
Mandel.
Red Savage.
I
Early-
considered it.
Very
Who is-
early Frank Whaley.
who plays Snick, like the really really intense burly character? It's somebody like Vincent D'Onofrio, or no? That can't be right.
No.
It's-
It's the guy. It's Tom Hanks's friend from The Burbs.
Oh
It
yes,
is-
yes.
What's his
Also,
Rick Ducommun.
yes, who was also the limo driver in the movie Blank Check.
Yes.
Oh, I never saw that one.
I could go on about that movie for a while.
Man, Howie Mandel. That's right.
But so yeah, Little Monsters. That movie is crazy though. Like the entire idea of just like I mean, it's kind of like a really insane 80s version of Monsters Inc. Like they kind of have the same idea of like this network business of monsters who are in it to scare kids. But when it gets to the end and things actually get scary and they kidnap Fred Savage's little brother, things
He's
get
played by his actual little brother.
Ben Savage.
Yep.
But like it gets so dark so quick. You have the character who I can't remember who. Boy, his name's just Boy.
That's Frank Whaley.
Frank Whaley, yes, sorry. And the scene, his face melts off and he turns into the monster, and then Snick turns into the Frank. Oh my god, I will have. That's the stuff of nightmares.
And it's a family movie.
And it's a family.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. So there you go, Greg. It's my number one.
It was my number 8 as well.
Amazing.
See,
love
I
Howie.
considered it, but I'm totally blanking on the climax, so I totally forgot all that stuff.
Oh, it's so good because
Oh,
the
man.
door, like if he doesn't get escape under the bed out to his real world, he gets stuck down there as a monster. It's from it.
It's from 1988. Yeah.
And
I was just gonna watch it.
And they keep going from like cities to state to state to state. It's like, I'm not going to Hawaii. Get up there now. They get up there and it's like Venice Beach.
There's this is just coming back to me now, probably because it was so creepy to me as a kid. But there's a scene where it's the scene where Fred Savage decides he doesn't want to be a part of this monster community anymore and starts like trying to reel back to his regular life. And it's like all these monsters, like basically the whole creature effects team, just putting their whole heads together for one scene, and they're all standing over the crib of like a very, very small baby, 5 months old, and they're all just cackling, and like one of them's a pumpkin head that tears open, and the baby just starts crying. And Fred Savage is like, stop it, can't you see you're scaring it, stop it. And it keeps cutting to the baby, and I swear to God, that baby is very genuinely afraid. And it's I was watching the scene just being like, this is terrifying.
Kids loved it. I loved it.
I still love it. Didn't they do a Vestron video, like special Blu-ray recently of it?
Oh, really?
I've got the DVD, but I haven't seen the Blu-ray. But I wouldn't be surprised if Shout Factory did something.
I think it was Vestron, like that, and they did Shivers at the same time, like those sort of.
Huh?
Yeah.
Craig's got
Anyways.
this. I'm here to fuck up Dale Dahlbeck Prestige worldwide.
Okay.
Dolbeck. Sorry, Dale Dahlbeck. I said Dahlbeck.
It's a Step Brothers.
Step Brothers.
That was a good movie too.
Yeah, too recent to qualify, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, Jason. What's your number 8 then?
I'm going with 1996's Matilda.
Nice.
You
I never saw that.
Now, okay, this is the first of 2 Roald Dahl entries, and that should say it all. That guy wrote some weird stuff. I love this movie. It is a favorite. The musical is fantastic. But it's just weird with this girl with telekinetic powers, but there is like no hint of evil anywhere near this, and you never ever get that anywhere else.
Yeah, usually
that's true.
That's true. That is very true.
It's and that in itself, it just makes it weird. Plus the whole idea of the Trunchable and whatnot. Just wow, weird.
There's some of the scenes at that school are crazy.
Yes, the chocolate cake scene.
The chocolate cake scene. There's a scene where she like takes the very adorable young blonde girl by her pigtails and swings her over a fence, aiming for the spikes on the top, and she misses them by this much, and then all the students celebrate. And she's mad. And you're like,
hammer throw. That was her specialty.
The hammer throw. Shot put, javelin, and hammer throw.
Yep.
Nice.
Oh man,
Good pick,
great
man.
movie. Directed by Danny DeVito too.
Yeah.
That's
so
right.
good.
I forgot about
And Paul Rubens plays a police officer, just for good measure.
Oh yeah.
James, what's your number 8?
My number 8's from 1986. It's Howard the Duck,
Oh.
which is surprising to think it's a family movie, but back in the day,
That almost made my list, but yeah, I was questioning whether it's really family because you got a duck trying to sleep with a hot singer.
Not trying to. Not trying to. It happened.
Yeah, that's true too. So yeah, I had it on my honorable mention because I wasn't sure.
but back then,
Could not include it. It was
But
I'm
just
pretty
for
sure.
that scene alone. That's the only reason why.
he smokes too.
Exactly.
I mean,
That's the worst part.
in 1986.
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Good.
You know what's amazing though? Somebody was just telling me about like the new Cruella movie. Sorry to throw a tangent in this, and how they weren't allowed. Like Disney is like a zero tolerance on smoking. So like Emma Stone was like, oh, I gotta like find a way to get that out of the character or whatever. But the whole movie's about her like murdering puppies to make a jacket. That's fine.
Yep.
All right, Disney.
They have to have standards.
Don't you dare put that out right now.
Whatever. Kill the dogs. I'm good. I don't want to see a cigarette.
Yeah, we're still shooting a movie here. Yeah.
That's right. That's a very good call. Well, my number 8, just like Tyler, was Little Monsters. So Tyler, number 7.
Okay. So number 7, I think this was also 1993, Drop Dead Fred.
Oh my God.
Oh, that almost made my list.
Oh wow.
It's a crazy movie. Also has Carrie Fisher in it. That's the second time we've talked about Carrie Fisher together this evening. And it's tonally all over the place. It's one of those movies that's like too childish for adults, but like way too vulgar for most kids. So it occupies this really weird space for parents who are like not into it, and kids who are like not always allowed to watch it.
Doesn't
Which
it
is
get
just-
dark?
Yeah. And then the entire thing just turns into an allegory about like sort of mental illness and like holding yourself back and growing up. And like it makes up for its pure silliness in the first half by like cramming so much theme into the last like 10, 15 minutes that it's like, yeah, you leave that movie being like, whoa, like that was a roller coaster ride. Because there's the whole like dream sequence at the end where she has to like climb the tree of her subconscious and like free her child self from the confines of her childhood bed and stuff. Oh man. Oh.
It's a very twisty. I do.
Yeah.
I don't
It is
remember
true.
anything from it.
It's not like I've seen this in the last 20 years either. I
Exactly.
have some area of my brain that I've occupied for like making sure I remember the details of Drop Dead Fred for a day like this.
This is the traumatic stuff that's burned itself in.
Exactly. But there's
Some of it, yeah.
there's a whole thing in that movie about like is it just a figment of her imagination? Because at times he's acknowledged by other people and stuff. So like I'm pretty sure they did a how did this get made on that too, and it gets really, really controversial about whether he exists or not.
That would be cool to see.
Interesting.
Greg finally waited. He waited till number 1, like someone got 7. So my number 7 is Vice Versa.
That's not on my list, so I'm okay with that one, Greg.
Yes.
I did just buy it on VHS, though.
But see, it's a good remake of Freaky Friday, really.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know,
And there's
Judge Reinhold.
And there's you know how there was always like two studios would release like the same kind of movie around the same time to compete with each other. So there was Vice Versa, and then Like Father Like Son with Kirk Cameron and Dudley Moore.
Yep.
And they also did 18 again with George Burns.
Oh yeah, a long time ago. That's right too.
Yeah. That's actually one of the first ones that did that.
Vice Versa has one of the crazier devices, though. It's like that's upside down inverted skull on a pedestal thing. That's like actually like some sort of old witchcraft thing. Like Father, Like Son, I'm pretty sure was like.
It was more tame.
Yeah,
a lot more tame. Yes.
Yeah, unless I'm mixing that up. I can't remember.
Jason, what do you got for 7?
All right. This is my second Roald Dahl entrance. Just recently brought fresh to my mind because my wife put it on the other night. James and the Giant Peach from 1996.
Oh, I haven't seen that one still.
Again, it's a fantastic movie. I adore this movie, but it's weird. It's a crazy trip, but the effects, the stop motion animation is so beautiful.
I gotta admit, I've never seen it.
It's pretty good.
It's such a bizarre concept.
Yeah. Well, we were trying to show it. So I have a 2.5-year-old son, and I threw that on Disney Plus recently too, and very quickly realized I was like, he's not ready for this. I did not remember any of this stuff. There's like the whole like the devil rhinos that like come out of the sky to kill his parents and stuff. Like, what is that? What?
There's family movies, and then there's older family movies. Yeah. Okay.
Let's just throw Coraline on while we're at it.
Yes.
Coraline's good one.
Not in the right eras.
No.
What's your number 7?
My number 7 from 1987, Monster Squad.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of my faves.
Wolfman's
Debatable
got
on the family.
nards.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't include it. That was definitely high on the list.
That's debatable on the family, though. It's like I remember being very restricted from that movie for a few years. So it's just like
I watched this one as a kid.
See, I remember I was being told I could not watch it because there was monsters in it.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember being restricted from it for a while. But I remember seeing the poster on the video store in my hometown. Like I remember the poster on the wall and just being like, "Oh, that movie's for me." Like I need to see this movie. And it was like the drawing one with like they're all like in the little pyramid with their weapons. Yeah.
I remember just telling my parents, "Well, it's just like the Goonies," and they fell for it.
Perfect.
It works. My number 7 takes a total departure. It's from 1997, and it's weird for a different reason. You'll get it from the title. It's Spice World. Just the fact that it exists is weird. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's brilliant marketing, though.
Yep. And it did really well.
Mm-hmm.
But it is total trash. I've watched it a couple times. You know, my daughter was in love with the Spice Girls. And
we all were, Rob. You can admit it.
Yeah.
All right. Maybe Sporty Spice.
I definitely remember my brother and I dragging my mom to the theater to see that movie. And no one being particularly pleased with it.
You made me watch this.
Well, I remember her being like, this movie's so stupid. And us just being like, it's not great.
But it's Spice Girls.
It's kind of like, that movie's got the weird thing of like, A Hard Day's Night is not the right example to use from it, but similar thing of like, there's just these weird little vignettes kind of smushed together for most of it. Like a lot of it's not really a movie. It's just kind of these little skits.
The Monkeys?
Yeah, or the Monkeys. That's a way better example.
Yeah. Oh. Okay, Tyler, number 6.
Coming in at number 6. Okay. Well, I'm gonna do my number 6, but I'm annoyed because Greg already kind of sniped it from me. But my number 6 is Mac and Me.
Phil, it's good.
It's fantastic. I love Mac and Me. I remember growing up on this movie and watching it like way more than was appropriate for the average viewer of that movie. But like, it's crazy. It's just like a really weird kind of crappy ET ripoff, but it's the McDonald's thing.
Oh,
that is
now I remember what it was from. Sorry, go ahead, Jason.
That is my number 2, and I did a little more research on that film just to get the full story. So yes, it was an ET ripoff. One of the main factors in order to differentiate it was to make him part of a family of aliens. They got the deal with McDonald's, and then Disney heard about it and decided to buy up a 3-year contract with McDonald's, so that they basically buried Mac and Me's promotional material.
I remember what I know it from now. There was a website, I don't know if it still exists. It was somethingawful.com. And they would do hilarious reviews of legendarily bad movies like Troll 2, Ice Cream Man and stuff. And Mac and Me was one of those, though I still haven't seen it. I like my share of bad movies as well.
Watch the Paul Rudd video. You get it.
Yes. Yeah, watch that, and that's going to teach you a lot about that film.
There's a really good company called Studio House Designs out of the States that does like horror t-shirts and long sleeves and stuff like that. And I bought a Mac and Me one of them that's like the cover of Rosemary's Baby replaced with Mac and Me imagery, and it's amazing. And the whole sleeve is just McDonald's branding. just as enjoy a Coke and then the McDonald's logo.
That's cool.
Love that movie. That movie. There won't be another one like it. I'll tell you that.
No. Cool. There we go. Greg's number 6, Brady Bunch movie.
Oh, fuck, that's a good one.
I never saw that.
That's not on my list, but it should have been.
Yeah. All right, Jason, what's your number 6?
My number 6, 1997, Air Bud.
Never saw that one.
Air Bud was a viral sensation before there was viral sensations.
Yep.
And,
it was
a dog that could actually bump the ball into the net.
Oh, I know it spawned MVP, most valuable primate,
and it spawned so much of a trend that
Air
still
Bud
continues
2 golden
to this day.
receiver.
Which is the great. Like, okay, basketball is believable, but like football, like where people just smash the dog, like what?
Well, you can't catch the dog. But the concept that they put the dog in the game, come on, no friggin' way, no,
of course.
But then you add in the entire massive Bud franchise, the Budverse, I guess you could call it.
Yep.
Didn't they do like miniatures, like Air Buddies with like puppies?
Yes, buddies, and then there's like Santa. There's been like multiple Santa Buddies movies.
Yep.
And
it's an epidemic.
And then they crossed them over with Snow Dogs and did Snow Buddies.
Oh man!
I swear to God, there's as many as there is Bond films.
There might be more.
Probably. Oh, Greg says, you like your share of bad movie, James? Well, you mean you like your truckloads of bad movies. Sorry, James, had to be said. Yeah.
I mean, I think all these movies are pretty great, but
maybe this is the first bad one.
He's got his share of bad movies that he loves.
Well, what's your number 6, James?
My number 6 from 1984, The Last Starfighter.
Oh my God. That's such a good choice.
Especially the guy that I can't remember the name of the actor, but the alien who recruits him is just like his gasping laugh is always like, I can't do it. It's just unmistakable laugh that he always does.
Oh, that's cool.
What year did that come out?
84.
Okay. I have an honorable mention that I believe was released with The Last Starfighter as a double feature.
Wow.
Oh, yeah?
It's one of my honorable mentions, so I'll bring it up later.
Ooh, I'm curious. I'm
very curious. And I held off on putting these up. Pam says, did you guys already mention Willow?
No.
And she says, if no one mentions Willow, I'm going to be very upset and take it out on James. Well, you're lucky, James.
But is it weird? is it weird or just incredible? Like Willow's just incredible.
But if
it is not on my list because I didn't like it.
Oh,
I know.
just silence.
Yeah. Willow is awesome. Okay.
Willow is awesome.
It is. It does hold up.
It has that weird element because you have that wizard, and that's the best scene in there is when Willow's transforming her back to human, and it goes to llama, to giraffe, to all these different animals in between.
I will have to give it a second watch. What doesn't hold up, because I bought the Blu-ray a few years ago, and I should have said it earlier, but what doesn't really hold up is Never-Ending Story.
Yeah, man, you just stacking stupidity on top of stupidity.
I knew that was coming.
Dude, can't believe you said that.
That's vicious.
Let's get out.
Anyway,
number 5.
Oh my goodness. Oh, you guys. Okay. So number 5, and no one can convince me this isn't fair, but it's a 2-way tie because they're basically the same damn movie. Suburban Commando and Mr. Nanny, the Hulk Hogan classics.
You are 100% right, and that's Suburban Commando is actually my number 1.
Oh my god.
Oh,
yeah.
I don't know if I should say thankfully haven't seen either of those, but
No,
I haven't seen either of those.
No, you're missing it.
The only Hulk Hogan movie I think I may have seen was probably No Holds Barred.
Oh, very interesting. Very interesting.
rip 'em.
Those two movies, are again fall in this category of having seen so many times. But yeah, this idea of like studios just really pushing Hulk Hogan as a leading man to me is amazing. That's the funniest move I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But the irony of that is that the first movie he wanted to go and do, which was Rocky 3.
Sorry, I forgot. I have seen that one. Rocky 3.
They fired him. Vince McMahon Sr. fired Hulk Hogan when he went off to make Rocky 3.
Really?
Mm.
And then Vince McMahon Jr. brought him back when he took over the company and decided to do this massive expansion. And he knew that a footstep into the world of Hollywood is a huge,
Like massive.
It had nothing to do with the massive push he got from being on Rocky 3.
Well, no. Vince wanted to ride that horse.
Yeah.
He did, and look what we got.
But those movies were huge. Like they were huge. I remember like the Suburban Commando poster being everywhere. Personally.
Oh, yeah.
Like
The gray
and
suit with
Christopher
those gray
Lloyd.
shoes.
Oh man, yeah. Like Christopher Lloyd,
Wasn't
Shelley Duvall.
Didn't he also do Santa with muscles?
Oh, he certainly did.
He did a Three Ninjas sequel.
High Noon at Mega Mountain.
Yep.
Oh, I remember they were trying to push that one because they were releasing it on the same night as WWF at the time pay-per-view.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
During the Monday Night Wars.
I do remember that.
You know what's funny though is the Mr. Nanny kind of. There were a lot of movies that were sort of like piggybacking off the Home Alone thing of like just watch kids terrorize these adults and basically just like murder them on repeat for fun. So like Mr. Nanny kind of had that thing, and it's like it's excessive. It's like Kevin McAllister times 3, but Buster Poindexter is the villain in that movie though. Like so good, and it's so crazy. He's so into that role. Like Buster Poindexter is so fucking into that role that it makes that movie really, really funny to watch.
Well, what few things I know Buster Poindexter from, he has no half measure.
That's very true.
He goes full tilt. It doesn't matter.
Tales from the Dark Side.
Yeah.
He was really good in that one.
Yeah.
Wasn't he the cab driver in Scrooge?
Scrooged.
Yep.
Yes.
I thought so. Niagara Falls.
He did a performance with, I don't know who the woman he was with, but did a performance of Hit the Road Jack on Saturday Night Live in like the late 80s. That still I can picture it vividly in my memory of just how cool it was, because he's just wailing on it.
It took me years, like well into my late 20s, before I realized he's the singer of the New York Dolls. That was one of those things that blew my mind.
Yeah,
like,
but
so I was just like, no wonder he's good at singing.
Wasn't his hit though that song "Hot, Hot, Hot"?
Yep. That
Yeah,
was Biggie. Until Elmo did it.
Wow.
yeah. Okay.
Didn't know that.
All right, Jason, what's your number 5?
My number 5, it's funny, is Tyler just mentioned this kind of situation. 1994, Getting Even with Dad.
Oh, that's so funny.
Macaulay Culkin and Ted Danson. And it's
I never saw that.
It's basically Macaulay Culkin home aloneing Ted Danson as his dad, just because his dad won't pay attention to him.
I think I remember seeing this preview on TV.
When you add in the whole element of the whole heist thing, like,
Yep,
that's messed up to have a kid involved in any of that stuff.
I
Let
forgot.
alone the kid pulling his hijinks.
Yeah.
You know,
I did. I forgot all about that one.
Wow.
like I almost wanted to include Home Alone here, but I
You could make an argument. You could make an argument.
Mm-hmm. I think.
I don't
so.
know. I don't know, because it might have been weird when it came out, but then like every movie that wanted to be it afterwards normalized it.
I think if you look at it compared to our list, it seems very normal.
yeah.
But okay, this was an honorable mention, but it seems like an appropriate time to mention. Has anyone seen the movie Remote? And it was like a Home Alone ripoff about a kid who was like stuck in his like a model home. His mom was a real estate agent. He was hiding there because he was like sad about his life, and he's finds solace in his remote control toys. And there's 3 robbers who like use the model home as like a headquarters, and he's stuck in the attic, and he terrorizes them with his remote control cars, planes, helicopters, and he has a remote control like yodeling guy in lederhosen. It makes no sense. It makes no
Sounds
sense.
vaguely familiar.
I remember it being big enough at the time.
I do not remember that one at all.
No, weird.
I'm interested now.
Just check it out.
Remote control man and Lederhosen? How could I not be?
It's in the trailer. It's
Okay,
one of those things where like, yeah, you're just like, okay, that's
I'll watch the trailer. There we go. We're good.
like, that doesn't seem like a commercially available toy though.
Right? Especially now. James, what's your number 5?
Jesus Christ. Okay, my number. Sorry, I was just. I saved the YouTube compilation from Paul Rudd, Mac and Me, and then something just popped up. It was Ellie Kemper apparently took part in the 1999 debutante ball with racist and anti-Semitic. It's.
Oh, we're going down.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, my number 5 from 1991, Hook.
Oh,
Hook.
That's my only one from the 90s.
that's 1991 though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, I thought I heard 5. That first movie I ever saw in theaters was Hook.
Really?
Yes.
Rocks.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think mine technically was Fox and the Hound, but
That's a good one.
I think you're right though. With Hook, especially the food fight.
It's so
well,
good.
just the fact that you find out that Neverland is real and you are Peter Pan and you're flying up, that's weird. That's
and just the whole identity crisis, right? Like he's in.
he doesn't
in
even. Peter,
Neverland.
don't you know who you are?
Yeah, and like they're basically like making a giant bet over him actually being Peter Pan. He's like, "We'll give you your kids back if you like admit you're Peter Pan." Basically, like
And just like
weird.
it's just like I'm a lawyer. You guys are weird. I don't.
There's that. Oh my god, that reminds me. There's that amazing scene at the beginning where he's negotiating with them, and they're like, "You're gonna have to fight." Captain Hook's basically like, "I challenge you to a duel," and he's like, "All right," and he like goes to pull something out, and every single one of the pirates all pull out their swords, and he pulls out his checkbook.
Yeah.
I'm a lawyer.
What a good movie! What a great movie!
Mine came out 2 years later, but I think it beats it on weird factor. From 1993 with Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo. Super Mario Brothers.
Yes.
You say Super Mario? I have yet to see that one.
Oh man.
I revisited that movie about a year ago with Xander, and just recently read an article that somebody has made an extended cut.
Whoa.
They found a VHS tape with some sort of rough cut or something, and then found someone who could professionally fix it and mold it and blend it into the original film.
I think
apparently this exists somewhere.
I think I remember seeing that they some company, and I don't know if it was the company that you mentioned. I'm trying to point to our guest.
No. Yeah, no. No, this isn't working. Okay.
Here, James.
There we go. Yeah,
okay.
There.
Hey, nice.
They put out
Nice.
like it was like a Blu-ray special edition of Super Mario Brothers and Double Dragon, and they were like $30 a piece. I'm like, I've never even seen these movies, but
Double Dragon.
like, yeah, that was the other one.
Oh my god. Oh, we don't have enough time in the day to talk about that one. Oh my god.
All right. Well, let's get to number 4 then. What's your number 4, Tyler?
Okay,
Isn't
number
it
4.
Oh, yeah.
Number 4, and this is another sort of like WWE trying to enter the Hollywood world, but twin sitters with the Barbarian Brothers. And
I remember seeing Barbarians, but not that one.
Oh man, so Twin Sitters is awesome, and it's basically, I mean, the loose premise is the Barbarian Brothers play these twins, these really strong twins who like manage to stop a shootout, and then they get hired as private security guards for their strength to guard 2 young terrorist twin boys who savagely. It's basically Mr. Nanny. Now that I'm talking about it, like it's the same premise as Mr. Nanny,
But with 2 Hogans.
but with 2 Hogans and a bigger set. So it's this giant mansion of a house, and here's an interesting thing: the 2 twins are played by the twins that collectively played the role of I can't remember his name, but the main kid from Kindergarten Cop, who like Arnold is protecting. Dominic.
Isn't it the kid from Pet Sematary?
Well, that kid's in Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah. You said the main kid from Kindergarten Cop. It's not him?
No. So like in Kindergarten Cop, it's Dominic, the character of Dominic, but there's 2 twins who play that character. They're the twins who are the young kids in Twin Sitters.
Oh.
And this movie,
okay.
it's so stupid, but it's really fun to watch. And it's basically just another excuse to watch these kids terrorize these other twins. But then halfway through, they become cool and they teach these twins how to be cool, which would basically just consist of like a makeover montage with like so much 90s thrown at it. So a lot of like ripped jeans and bandanas and like neon colors and oh man.
It was Joseph and Christian Cousins.
Yes. Yeah, that movie. If you ever get a chance to see it, you should check it out. It's really weird.
I've liked the Barbarian Brothers ever since Natural Born Killers. So
Good, yeah, good one.
yes,
They're
Yeah,
in
there's
Natural
that.
Born Killers?
they're in a deleted scene. Yep.
Yes.
I read about this. I've never seen the scene.
Oh, it's hilarious. Mickey and Mallory are there attacking them, and they're awestruck. You know, like they're marking out huge for them as they're getting limbs cut off.
No, I think it was more of they're cutting one's leg off and one's arm off, and it's as they're doing it, they realize it's their favorite wrestlers.
Mm-hmm. It's
Wow.
fun to watch. Yeah. Jason, number 4.
All right, my number 4. Again, we're getting weirder here. 1982, The Dark Crystal.
Ooh.
Oh, almost made my list.
That I have not watched that movie in a very, very, very long time for a reason. Because all I can remember from it was being somewhat scary for a kid's movie, but also very slow and boring.
What?
Yeah.
And this was from the mind of Jim Henson.
That movie is incredible.
But
See, that's it. Oh, go ahead, Tyler.
well, I was just gonna say, but as a kid, you're just. I remember, like, yeah, it's just like it's almost too good of a movie for children because, like, you rewatch it now and you're like, what a brilliant movie. But as a kid, you're just like, why isn't more happening? Like, where are the Muppets?
Afraid to revisit it.
It holds up.
I think you'll enjoy it more now than you did as a kid.
Well, they have that sequel thing they did on Netflix, right? And that did pretty well.
It was good too.
I never watched that.
I've avoided it because I need to revisit the first one.
I am curious how the puppetry holds up.
To my knowledge, really good.
I just know one of the last cons I got to go to in London, there was somebody who was wandering around as Is it the Skeksis that are up on the stilts?
Oh,
The,
cool.
The bad guys, yes. Skeksis.
Skeksis.
Are you talking about the things with the beak or the things that they ride?
Things they ride, right?
This looked like a crow on stilts.
Yeah, those are like the things they ride, I think, right?
Oh, okay. Well, still, there was somebody going around in this con in London as one of those.
Very
I just paper cut my arm.
well
Sorry.
done.
Ow!
Yeah, on the elbow. It's very unfortunate.
Let me see. James. Oh, James was The Labyrinth.
Labyrinth, yep.
So mine, we jumped to 1994, an Arnold Schwarzenegger film, Junior.
Oh yeah.
Never saw that one.
that's actually a family film.
Yeah,
Kind of, yeah.
it's rated G.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't remember enough of it to bring it into this episode, but like it definitely came up in my thought process.
Yep. I couldn't believe it either.
I don't remember enough about it, but just the idea of it. What?
Mm-hmm.
Is Danny DeVito in that one too?
Yes.
Yep.
Man, more Schwarzenegger DeVito combos. Like
Exactly.
let's stop revisiting the Terminator. Let's have another, like Twins too.
Exactly.
They've been trying to do that. They were almost ready to
That's
they were
amazing.
almost ready to do triplets when
With
they
Eddie
found out they had
Murphy.
a third brother, and it was going to be Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
See, that would rock.
Yeah, that's amazing. Especially if they did it now. That'd be so awesome.
It's possible.
All right. Tyler,
Okay. All right.
3.
Number 3.
Yeah.
Okay. These top 3 are hard for me to divvy up, so I'm just going to go. Yeah, in no particular order for these last 3, I think.
Fair enough.
Munchie. So this was a sort of loose sequel to the movie Munchies, but it has nothing to do with that movie. I think they just used that title because they're like trying to sell something about it, but it's basically a really weird Gremlins-y kind of ripoff with this really sketchy puppet voiced by Dom DeLuise, who basically is found in a magic trunk and comes out to help this kid who's bullied at school create mischief and just get into all sorts of trouble and like be a little more confident before he's put back in his magical trunk by a professor who's been trying to look for him. Like, it's crazy. And I rewatched
I am
it
not
recently.
familiar with this at all.
I'm digging deep here. And I'm telling you, you may not have seen it because people decided this movie's too weird. Our video store does not need to stock this film.
Wow.
It's also Jennifer Love Hewitt's first on-screen appearance as Jennifer Love. She's just credited as Jennifer Love.
Wow.
But she's the love interest in that film. She has like three lines.
Lonnie Anderson, Artie Johnson's in
Bonnie
it.
Anderson, yeah. It's crazy.
What did it get on IMDb? 3.7.
that's generous.
Ooh. Ooh.
And he's obsessed with pizza. There's this weird thing where he's obsessed with pizza, and there's all these really horrible, like in movies when they make pizza and it doesn't look like pizza. It looks like some gross, disgusting prop made with like snot.
Yep.
Every single pizza in that movie looks like that.
This is like a challenge movie, like,
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm feeling it.
Yeah. It was one of those things where my brother and I rewatched it within the last couple months because it was on Prime Video, like very briefly for like a week or two, and then it seemed like it disappeared. But we rewatched it because it was very, very prevalent in our childhood, and it sucked. It wasn't even enjoyably bad. It was frustratingly bad. Where I was just like, "Oh, that was a mistake. That was a mistake rewatching it. It was a total mistake. Ruined it."
That's one of the reasons why I don't revisit a lot from my childhood, because I'm afraid.
Oh yeah, I have one I will never touch just for that reason.
Mm.
For that reason.
Can I ask what it is, or is it on your list?
Gargoyles. No, it's not on my list. No.
Gargoyles.
Yeah,
not worth it. It's like for Warriors of Virtue. Like some movies shouldn't be rewatched.
Let's see here. No, it's not on Amazon anymore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think there's a full version on YouTube in relatively high definition.
Relatively high definition. There we go. I like that.
Yeah.
All right.
It's certainly high quality enough for the purposes that you're going to use it for.
High quality enough. when you have these kind of tag-ons, Let's see here. Nope. And I just checked Crave. It's not there either.
Oh, okay. They're cracking down on the munchie.
Yep. Jason, number 3.
They found out one got loose, and
They're like, Dom DeLuise, how is this movie not doing better?
They finally got it back under control.
all right, my number 3. This is purely a Canadian flick, I think. I got a feeling this is strictly a Canadian flick. 1985, The Peanut Butter Solution.
Oh man,
What is that?
Sounds like a porno.
I've never heard of that.
I remember being shown this movie in school, and I remember having
Really?
a regular play, like
What?
re-airing on like TVO,
yeah, but
and I also remember it being when Cogeco Cable here in Chatham started getting into digital, and they started offering video on demand. And they had a small selection, like 3 dozen, that were totally like free. I don't know if they were public domain or what, but these were movies that you could watch that were totally free. And Peanut Butter Solution was in that list.
What? Michael Hogan's in it.
I have not ever heard of this.
It's about this boy, him and a friend. There's this weird house that was like burned out or something in their neighborhood. And they have like ghost stories about it or whatever. And the one kid gets dared to go inside, and he does. And he sees some ghosts or something, and it scares him, freaks him out. And when he falls, he collapses. And when he wakes up, he's got a condition. He's like sick. It's called the fright, and he loses all his hair. And then he starts getting visitations from the ghosts, and they tell him how he can get his hair back, and he has to make this peanut butter solution. And things go awry at first. He doesn't get it quite right, but when he finally does it, he overdoes the peanut butter, and his hair keeps growing and growing and growing. And the hair can be made into paintbrushes that will paint whatever you're thinking in perfect detail. They're magical paintbrushes.
Like a scholastic book. It literally sounds like a scholastic book.
It might have been based on a book. I'm not sure. I think it's part of like a series of Canadian films or something. But it gets dark and weird because this art teacher guy from the school, who's like, he has nothing to do with art. He's evil. He's the bad guy. He kidnaps the kid and a bunch of other kids. He drugs the kid to keep him unconscious, but the hair keeps growing. And he's got all these other kids enslaved making paintbrushes.
That sounds like a segment from Body Bags.
I don't remember any of this.
Dude,
What?
And this
I don't remember
is
any
a
of this.
kids movie.
I must have blotted this out.
I know I watched this in school. In like grade 6, 7, or 8. Like in that, I know I watched it in school.
dude,
Did you go to Hogwarts or something?
I didn't remember any of that. I just remember the scared bald thing, or like losing his hair from fright. But you know what's really funny? When Shia LaBeouf had announced the Peanut Butter Falcon just as a movie, and I heard people talk about it. For some reason in my brain, I just thought Shia LaBeouf was remaking the Peanut Butter Solution, and that did not seem crazy to me at all.
I thought that too. Honestly,
Okay,
I had to look it up. I'm like, wait.
Yeah. And Shia LaBeouf's just such a wild card of a person that you're like, yeah, I believe it.
both you guys are freaking me out right now. Okay, seriously. I've never even heard of this film.
I need to rewatch it, apparently.
No.
Again, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I mean,
Hey, 6.1 on IMDb.
That's not bad.
I just looked that up too. That's pretty good.
A 6 is a pass for me, honestly. Like
Yep.
I'm willing to, step into a 6 easy.
Munching 3.1. Let's give that one a whirl.
Yeah. Under 4 is watchable on a whole different category.
Mac and Me was a 3.4.
That's also generous.
And it gets played on Conan O'Brien all the time, right?
Oh my God.
All right, James, what's your number 3?
My number 3, 1985, first movie I saw without my parents. I saw it with my older brother. It's The Goonies.
Is it weird?
I would say You watch those kids try and describe to the parents what they just went through.
Literally,
Yeah, that's
you
true.
cave with a treasure ship, and there's a monstery guy, and kind of leans towards weird.
Or just get Chunk where he confesses everything to the Fratellis.
At one
movie's
time
pretty weird.
in third grade.
Yeah, I think that one fits.
And then I made a noise like this. That's so funny.
Well, my number is it 3 we're on? Yeah, my number 3. I Beat Your Munchies. On IMDb, it's a 2.9, and this falls in the same vein as Spice World. 1991's Cool as Ice,
That's nice.
starring Vanilla Ice.
Again,
Wow.
I'm surprised to consider that a family flick.
Yep, it's rated.
This movie.
Oh, maybe not. It's rated PG.
Never had the opportunity, but
Wait, hang on. Okay, a rapper gets stuck in a small town and falls for a local girl. What?
Yep.
Holy crap! Every now and again, one just squeaks by, right? Holy crap!
Yeah.
That's a shot to my top of my watch list.
There's below the radar, and then there's this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then there's
I think-
Buried.
I think Vanilla Ice actually guest starred on an episode of How Did This Get Made of doing Cool as Ice.
Oh my god,
That wouldn't surprise me.
that sounds awesome.
Would not surprise me if he did.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
That's awesome.
I'll just leave that one right there. Number 2, Tyler.
Okay, number 2. So this one, I'm looping back to that production company I might have mentioned earlier that did the Home Alone ripoff, or maybe I didn't. But it's a Moonbeam Entertainment staple called Prehysteria, 1992, maybe 1993.
I've heard of that.
About a kid who it's kind of another Gremlins ripoff where a kid finds a bunch of dinosaur eggs. And they hatch into baby dinosaurs that him and his sister name after famous musicians. So there's a mini T-Rex named Elvis. There is a pterodactyl named Paula. There's a Madonna. There's a Jagger. And it's basically just that classic 80s tale of like there's a goon archaeologist who's trying to like find these dinosaurs to put them in a museum. And, you know, they're living a good life with these kids. And they made 3 of these movies, all on Moonbeam Entertainment. And so, yeah, I have this weird obsession with this Moonbeam Entertainment company. I think there should be a documentary about them because they just made like 4 to 5 years worth of just like so many family movies and then just went completely belly up. And yeah, their offering is really wild.
Okay. They went under, and you're wondering why.
Well, okay, it's a fair point. I don't know. I thought everyone loved Prehysteria as much as I did, I guess.
See,
up,
I did. I enjoyed it thoroughly. I gotta admit, I think that's the only one that I'm seeing of their lineup that I've ever seen. But,
so they're underground, you know, they're just cool.
Yeah. There we go. You just made them retro.
Yeah, another one of their big ones was something called not Dragonheart, but it was a dragon themed movie where a kid in Scotland or in the Highlands or wherever finds a dragon and befriends it.
Dragon Quest?
I don't know. The kid in it was the kid who played in the Little Rascals. That's coming to mind for some reason.
Cortland Mead is his name.
Okay.
I love the Little Rascals. So
It's
Only
so
thing
good.
coming to mind is Dragonheart because you said it.
Yeah,
That doesn't
but it's
sound
not.
right, though.
Yeah, it's not Dragonheart. Hang on. Okay, now I gotta. But anyways, yeah, Prehysteria is my entry. Maybe someday I'll make the Moonbeam Entertainment documentary.
There you
Yeah.
go.
There's also one of their other biggest ones was a movie called Beanstalk. It was a retelling of Jack and the Beanstalk with Margot Kidder in it and
Cool.
Patrick Renna from The Sandlot, like the redheaded ham.
I follow him on TikTok. He's pretty funny.
He's awesome.
He acts like no one recognizes him, noted, but he'll always be Hamilton Porter to me.
Hamilton the Babe Porter.
Yep.
And that
Sorry.
one did not bad too. It was like a 4 point something.
Dragon World. This movie was called Dragon World.
There
Don't
we
know
go.
that one.
Oh my God, you should see the poster.
The title sounds familiar, but only the title.
Okay, well, here's just the elevator pitch. A young man must risk his life to save his fire-breathing friend from the unscrupulous owner of an amusement park.
Right. There you go.
Sold. All right, who's up?
Boom. There it is.
Oh, yes.
Dragon World.
Out of the mist
Wow.
and into your heart.
And you know it's good because the poster says on video cassette and then the date, not in theaters.
I'm not seeing Cortland. I'm not seeing it on Cortland Mead's IMDb though.
I did find it on his IMDb though. It's on 1994.
Look at that. The face on that poster. The dragon's face is totally Falcor.
Oh, sorry, scrolled by it. There it is.
It's definitely Falcor though. You're totally right.
Nice. Well, Jason, we know yours.
Yes, Mac and me.
Oh shit.
James, number 2.
Okay, mine from 1984, Cloak and Dagger.
That is my honorable mention that has the connection with Last Starfighter.
Oh, nice.
Really?
What's the connection?
They were released as a double feature.
Oh, okay. I just love it. Like the kid who's like favorite role playing game character, Jack Flack, who's actually just his dad in a cooler form, and like he has this imaginary friend all through this legitimately real government conspiracy that these little kids are involved in, and that, in addition to William Forsythe with like the like nerdy hair and glasses, you find out years later it's like, holy crap, that's William Forsythe.
Yeah, but you know, this movie features the kid shooting one of the bad guys.
Yeah.
The kid does it.
1984.
Oh yeah.
Yes. That's why it's
He
in
was
my
probably
honorable
smoking
mentions.
while he did it. And none of them Popeye cigarettes. Okay. Mine goes with Tyler's, sort of. And here is the description from IMDb. In an alternate futuristic society, a tough female police detective is paired with a talking dinosaur to find the killer of dinosaurs and other prehistoric animals, leading them to a mad scientist bent on creating a new Armageddon. Whoopi Goldberg and a dinosaur, Theodore Rex.
What the hell?
I know I've heard of it.
Oh yeah, Theodore Rex. Okay, seriously.
Holy shit. Oh my god. And it looks like just a spare puppet from the show Dinosaurs.
It kind of does.
Yeah.
I'd be curious to see when that started and when this was.
Oh man. Look at this. Whoa. Carol Kane played the voice of Molly Rex. That's awesome.
Right?
Okay.
Right?
That sounds awesome.
Of course, it got, what did it get? 2.4 on IMDb.
That's a new low for the evening.
Right?
Mhm.
Yeah, that'll be my lowest because Suburban Commando is my other one. I'm going to look that up in a second. We'll find out what that is.
It's got to be higher than that.
Now, number ones.
Okay. So my number one was HBO's first ever feature film, produced entirely in-house, starring Jon Lovitz as the villain and Jeffrey Jones as the main character. Mom and Dad Save the World.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
Heard of that.
Oh my goodness. So the loose premise is Jeffrey Jones and his wife are on a road trip. They're going to wine country or some boring place. And then on a distant planet called Spengo, named after Jon Lovitz's character, Todd Spengo, he falls in love with her via some sort of long across galaxy telescope and uses some sort of tractor beam to lift them off of their road trip and bring them to his planet, where he tries to kill the husband and marry the wife. But of course the husband tries to save the day. And it's one of the craziest movies I've ever seen. It is so wild. And HBO spent so much money at the time trying to really make an impact that I'm pretty sure it wound up being a complete catastrophe box office wise, and they never made the money back. And of course, Jeffrey Jones has been disgraced many times over in his career and whatnot. So it's just got a overall really bizarre tone. And the worst part, though, is that John Lovitz is so damn good in it. It's so funny. But if you guys have never seen this movie, it is something else.
I know of it. I don't think I ever actually have seen that.
No, same here.
I know I haven't seen it, but I've seen the poster. I remember it vividly.
Yeah. Well, it's not for a lack of HBO trying to get it in front of your guys' eyes.
See, back then, we didn't have HBO up here.
Well, that's just it. Like, I don't even remember how I saw it. Like, I want to think that, like, we must have gotten some sort of VHS. Like,
first
choice. They would put out HBO movies on VHS because, like, When Trumpets Fade and 2 Days in the Valley, and I'd see little HBO video thing on it.
Mm-hmm. I think there was like a point where at the time it was like First Choice, the movie channel.
Yeah.
They started getting some HBO content, I think, at some point, and maybe it was right around then.
Those things were awesome.
Terry Garr. I'm so sorry. I completely forgot. Terry Garr plays the mom, and she's awesome in it. And Wallace Shawn is in it. Eric Idle is in it. It's crazy.
Okay. I'm going to find that one because
I'm trying to find the budget right now.
All right. We'll go on with Jason then while Tyler looks up the budget because I'm curious now too.
Jason. I looked this up and it's only a 2.6 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yes. That's the new low.
1987, the Garbage Pail Kids movie.
Oh my God.
Oh,
of course.
Legendary movie that I have never been able to find.
Well, it's out there because it's had a Blu-ray release. If you go to IMDb and you
really
Scream Factory,
you'll see like a boom, like a big boom. It's on Blu-ray thing, and I have vague recollections of this movie because I know I hated it, but I just had the
cards.
I had the cards, and yeah, like why they thought that was a good idea.
Because it was popular at the time.
Oh man. I love that
movie. The sad thing is, I'm staring at this, and there's a trailer button, and I want to click on it, but I don't think that's a good idea because then it might make me want to revisit it, and I feel like it could be dangerous.
My stepmother's nailing. I've never seen that one, but I've heard of it.
So full credit to Pam on that one. That's an awesome movie. I also have that one on VHS. I was very happy about that one when I acquired it too.
I'm fully aware of it, but I've never watched it.
Dan Aykroyd.
And Kim Basinger?
I believe so, yeah.
Yes.
Oh, man, that is awesome. Well, James, we know your number one was Little Monsters. And mine followed Tyler's with Suburban Commando. I've looked it up. It is a 4.5.
That's pretty good. And I found the budget for Mom and Dad Save the World. It's not quite as high as I thought, but for a TV studio that had never done a movie in 1991 or 2, they spent $14 million on its budget, and opening weekend in North America, it made $984,000. Which is awesome. Gross worldwide, $2,034,000.
That might be considered a loss.
When did Joe's Apartment come out, though? And did it save them? Because I feel like Joe's Apartment did really well.
I think Joe's Apartment was 97, I feel like.
96.
96. Nice.
Wasn't that credited as the first MTV movie?
Was it?
I think. Movie from MTV.
It is MTV's first movie. That's the tagline.
That's what I thought. I thought.
It's got a respectable 5.5.
One I always heard about because it was like the first preview on several VHS movies I have.
Pam says, LOL, Garbage Pail Kids was disturbing for me as a kid.
Well, because they're supposed to be small, but like proportionally they're small. But when they're standing next to the regular characters, like they're just big and they're just as tall, but they're just enormous. Oh man,
they were like a new generation's HR Puffin stuff.
Yeah. Well, and the whole this is oh my god, I'm just remembering this now. The whole like premise of it was that there was a state home for the ugly that they were trying to save them from, and it shows a scene from it, and there's like people in cages, and there's one that's like too fat, too skinny, too tall, too ugly, and it's just like regular people, and then they keep talking about how they're going to be crushed. So like they just, I mean, the implications of this are wild, but like that's freaking crazy.
They were also from space in a garbage pail spaceship. So
That-
was that on their planet or here?
Well,
I've seen it.
That's really interesting you say that, because they kind of make that official in the intro of the movie as the garbage pail like floating around in space. So you're just like, okay, like they're being very upfront with that.
Very,
Oh,
very
man.
cool.
Okay,
Well, Tyler, thank you so much for doing this list. This has
Thank
been
you, sir.
Yeah.
this was a lot of fun.
Yes.
We could have gone. Yeah, the honorable mentions are plenty. Like so many. So thanks for having me. It was nice meeting you guys.
Oh yeah,
Nice meeting you too.
Yeah.
we got to do it again.
Yes.
We love having people back. Kind of like next week, we're having someone back that was here previous. His name is
Who's
Ryan
that?
Plant.
Nice.
Plant, who did the film Holy Hell.
I know Ryan.
Yes.
Yeah, that was first year at Bits.
His question to you guys is, which topic do you want? Because he has chosen best trailer or best fight scenes.
Oh shit!
Damn, that's good.
Oh, I want to do both.
He wants them both.
Best fight scene. Fight scene.
Best fight scenes in trailers.
I know.
Oh,
No. Because my favorite fight scene, you can't put the whole thing in the trailer.
okay.
They live.
I'm gonna have to check the list to see if we might have already done that.
Fight scenes?
It's possible
Fight
we
scene?
might have.
Really?
It's possible. I don't think so. I think we've had the discussion about this like before we did the top tens, like 3 years ago.
I know we compared a couple fight scenes. I don't know if we've ever.
I'll double check the list. I have, unfortunately, it's on my phone. If I try to check it right now, it's going to kick me out. So
I can do both, but I think fight scenes I want to do more.
Pam just chirped in. She likes fight.
all right,
Yeah.
let's go with fight scenes. What the hell?
Fight it is.
that sounds fun. And I think, James, just by you mentioning that the length of that fight scene, I immediately think I know which fight scene you're talking about.
Ooh.
Is it over 11? Is it over 11 minutes long? Let me just ask that.
I don't know that it's 11 minutes long, but I don't want to give thing away. But it's a sequel.
Okay, never mind. It's not the one I was thinking of.
No, probably not.
No, the one I was thinking of takes up like a measurable fraction of the actual runtime of the movie. So.
Oh no! This is definitely not it.
Well, I'm excited to find out.
Yeah.
Jason's Brady bunching. I see him looking up at Tyler.
No, I'm.
Speaking of the Brady Bunch, I think Greg needs credit for mentioning the Brady Bunch movie.
Absolutely.
A very Brady sequel. It's like, that should have been on my list for sure.
Very good. All right. Well, again, Tyler, thank you so much. Anytime you want to come back, let us know, because this was a great topic.
I'd be happy to come back. Yeah, awesome. Well, thanks. This was a lot of fun to talk about.
All right. For another week at the Movie Madhouse, I'm Rob.
I'm James.
I'm Jason.
And our buddy.
It was Tyler.
Yes.
Yeah.
See y'all later.
Bye.
Doodles.
Shut up! It's a man!